Yes, my P5 learners, how are you today? I hope you are still doing well. My name is Mr. Mugisha Emmanuel, and I'm going to take you through mathematics. But before I take you through today's lesson, I want to remind ourselves on what we looked at in the previous lesson. In the previous lesson, we are looking at how we can change from improper fractions to mixed fractions. And I gave you an activity. But among the numbers I gave you, we had 37 out of 5, we had 45 out of 7, 27 out of 5. So you will allow me to go through these ones, then you will compare with the answers you got. Then you also check the answers you got on the other numbers, which I'm not going to go through. Then you see how you fared. So 37 out of 5 is the same as 37 divided by 5. Then on our long division, we shall have 37 here, then 5. 5 goes into 3 how many times? That is 0 times. And 0 times 5, we are getting 0. When we subtract, we shall get a 3. Then we pull down the 7, then we get 37. How many groups of 5 can I get from 37? You will find that they are 7. And 7 times 5, we are getting 35. When we subtract, we shall get a 2 here, then a 0. 2 is smaller than 5, therefore 2 becomes a remainder. So the remainder is 2. When we are writing the answer, we are going to write 7 whole numbers, then 2, which is supposed to be out of 5. Then our fraction becomes 7 whole numbers, 2 out of 5. I think you can now compare with the answer you got and mark yourself. Then we have another one, which is 45 out of 7. It means 45 divided by 7. On our long division, we shall have 45 here, then 7. How many groups of 7 can I get from 4? 0. Why? 4 is smaller than 7. 0 times 7, we get a 0. When we subtract, we get a 4. Then we lower the 5, which will give us 45. So 45 divided by 7. How many groups of 7 can I get from 45? You will find that they are 6. 6 times 7, we are getting 42. When we subtract, 5 take away 2, we get a 3. 4 take away 4, 0. 3 is smaller than 7, therefore it becomes a remainder. And the answer here is going to be 6 whole numbers, 3 out of 7. And finally, that is I. We have 27 out of 5. Out of 5. On our long division, inside we are putting 27, outside 5. 5 goes into 2, 0 times 5, 0. When we subtract, we get a 2. You lower 7, which will give you 27. How many 5s can you get from 27? They are 5. And 5 times 5, we are getting 25. When you subtract, you get a 2. Then here 0. And a 2 is smaller than 5, therefore it becomes the remainder. Therefore, the answer is going to be 5 whole numbers, remainder 2, but out of the 5. Basically, this is what we looked at in our previous lesson. You can now compare your answers, and where you went wrong, you can now correct yourselves. So, in our lesson today, we are going to look at how we can change fractions to decimals. We are going to look at how we can change fractions to decimals. Let's have examples. Change the following as a decimal number. Change the following as a decimal number. Our first example, a fifth. Our first example, a fifth. So if you have been told to change a fifth into a decimal number, first of all, you need to know, what does this one mean? A fifth, or 1 out of 5, is the same as 1 divided by 5. We have said this one means 1 divided by 5. So you put it on wrong division. Inside you put 1, outside 5. How many groups of 5 can I get from 1? You will realize that 1 is smaller than 5. So what do? You write as 0. 0 times 5, we are getting 0. When you subtract, you will get the other number which gave you this 0. So this time don't accept to write another 0. Instead, what you are going to do, you introduce a decimal point. Then on this one, you add a 0. Okay? So it is now 10. So 10 divided by 5, we shall get 2. And 2 times 5, we shall get 10. When we subtract, we are going to get 0, 0. So the moment you get 0, 0, just know that you have fully got the answer which you are meant to get. Therefore, make a conclusion. Therefore, 1 out of 5 is the same as 0.2. Then you underline. You underline. Let's have another example. Another example, we have 2 out of 4. 2 out of 4. So 2 out of 4 is the same as 2, you divide it by 4. On our long division, we shall have a 2 inside, then a 4 outside. So 4 goes into 2 how many times? 2 is smaller. So since 2 is smaller than 4, it goes there 0 times. And 0 times 4, we are going to get 0. Then you subtract. You will get a 2. Which was here. So are we going to write again 0? No. What do we do this time? You introduce a decimal point. And what else? You put a 0 there. Now it becomes 20. So 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4. You are going to get 5. And 5 times 4, you are going to get 20. And when you subtract, you are going to get 0, 0. And the moment you get 0, 0, just know that you have fully divided. Therefore, 2 out of 4 is equal to 0.5 is equal to 0.5. Is equal to 0.5. Now, is it a must that you must get 2 digits after a decimal point? Here we have only 1 digit. Even there we have 1 digit. The answer is no. You can have as very many numbers after decimals as possible. So, can we have another example whereby we have 3/4? 3/4. What does 3/4 give us? So 3/4 means 3 divided by 4. So what do we put inside? What do we put inside? The 3. Outside 4. 3 divided by 4. You will find that 3 is smaller. So what we do? It goes there 0 times. So 0 times 4. We are going to get 0. And when we subtract, we get the other number. So since we have got the other number, we are not going to write again 0. So what we do, we introduce a decimal point, then we add here a 0. It is now 30. 30 divided by 4. How many groups of 4s can I get from 30? You are going to have 7. And 7 times 4, we are getting 28. And 28, when we subtract it from 30, we are going to get a 2. What do we do with a 2? 2 divided by 4. 2 remains smaller. 2 is smaller than 4. So what we are going to do, we add on another 0. So it becomes 20. 20 divided by 4. 20 divided by 4, you get 5. And 5 times this 4, you will get 20. And I told you that the moment you subtract and get 0, 0, just know that your number is done. Therefore, 3/4 is the same as 0.75. 3/4 is the same as 0.75. Let's have one more example. Let's have one more example. One more example. One more example where we have 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5. And we have already seen that 3 out of 5 is the same as 3 divided by 5. Wrong division. Inside 3, outside 5. 3 divided by 5, 3 is smaller. So we get 0. 0 times 5, we get a 0. When we subtract, we get 3. The other number, which we got, and when we divided, we got 0. So do we again write another 0? No. What are we going to do? You introduce a decimal point and add here a 0. 30 divided by 5, we are going to get 6. And 6 times 5, we are getting 30. When you subtract, you get 0, 0. And what have I told you? The moment you subtract, you get 0, 0. Just know that your number is done. Therefore, 3 out of 5 is equal to 0.6 as your answer. As your answer there. So, having done these examples, I hope over there you can try some numbers. I'm going to give you few numbers which I want you to try when you are at home there. Please concentrate and make sure that you write this work very well. The organization should be very good. Organization of work in mathematics is very important. So sit down, switch off your TV station or set, and make sure that there is no interruption when you are doing this work. I want to thank you so much for being a good learner. Thank you so much for paying attention. I need to thank you for that, because some children may not pay attention, but for you have given me time. Keep it up, because this is the way to go. I cannot come and teach you from your home. The only way to reach you is through this online teaching. Thank you so much. Have a nice time.